How's it going, Leonard?
Hey, what's going on now?
Good. We're holding down the show for now. Huh?
I guess we're holding it down. Are we live?
It says we are, but I wonder where Joe is.
He may be having some issues trying to get in.
What's that background picture? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was my reunion. All my Army buddies.
What's going on, fellas?
Good morning. Good morning.
Man, interesting morning.
I hear you.
I tell you, anything that can happen will.
There you go.
I tell you what, we'll go ahead and get this show started. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we sure can.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good stuff.
We got some background music.
All right, let's go ahead and get this show started.
All right, cue the music.
Cueing music.
Start the music.
Starting music.
And go.
It's the Truth Be Told show, where we place America first, honoring those who America has forgotten. Listen in and unlearn to relearn as we set the record straight. And now, your host of the Truth Be Told show, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Mishorn.
All right, folks. It is the Truth Be Told show. It is November 15th, 2022. It's the only November 15th, 2022 that you will ever get in your life. So you'd better make it a great day. Okay. So I hope everybody understands when I say that, you know, what we're talking about. I think you guys do. I think you guys get that. So today we're kind of jumping in. We want to do an after election review. But first, let me ask you guys, Leonard, Peter, how was your week?
Great. Today I'm heading to Kentucky State University, probably around 10 o'clock, so I may have to leave a little early, but I'm participating in the Kentucky Minority Farmers Conference. Leonard, how about that?
That's pretty good.
Three-day conference at Kentucky State, which is an HBCU and a land-grant university as well.
Awesome. So that's pretty cool. Is this reparations being paid back or?
No reparations. Just how to grow more crops, feed the people.
How to grow more crops and be
grow more crops. You're teaching them how to eat good again.
Right, off of food that you grow yourself. My week has been pretty good so far. I'm preparing for Thanksgiving. We usually have about 20 people today. This year we're gonna have about more than 20 people. So
cool.
I usually start like the 1st of November, starting to get prepared for the 3rd week of November. So that's what I've been doing here this week is preparing for that. Today was my father's heavenly birthday, so I'd like to wish my father a happy heavenly birthday. Without my father, I would not be the man who I am today. So always pay respect where respect is due.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what's up. Yeah, I've seen pictures of your dad and y'all. He could definitely never have denied you. That's for sure. Yeah, y'all look alike, bro.
Yeah,
absolutely alike.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's up, man. Shout out to all those. I tell you what, when it comes to parents, I don't think I lost my mother in 2015, and it still hurts. I remember experience, and I think it depends on how you lose a family member too. Because I know with my mom, it was a surgery and things didn't go well, complications. I was mad at the doctors. I was mad at God. I was mad at everything and everyone around.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, I wanted to give the doctor a very different kind of handshake. All I could imagine was things I saw on TV, shake the hand and then swing them around like Bam Bam, but my dad had to kind of help me come to that resolve to say, hey, she's in a better place and all that good stuff, all that jazz. And today I'm better for it. So it's all good. Today we're going to talk about we're going to do an after election review. We're going to get into the poverty pimping preachers. That's the 4 P's, actually. The poverty pimping preachers, pundits, politicians, and professors, as well as a little bit of local controversy. Pastor Tim Finley was on last week, and Better Days with Peter Hayes, made him feel a little insensitive or feel a little hurt because he made the comment about chicken eating, fornicating preachers in the hood being part of the problem, right? He didn't call Tim that, but he said that about that being one of the issues in the melanated community, and coming from a man of Caucasoid persuasion, many people cannot, the one thing that a community who is spiraling in the wrong direction will not tolerate is for a mirror to be shown to them by someone whom they have dictated as their oppressor.
Even even the official global spokesperson for all white people can't do that.
No, he can't do that because
ultimately, the United Nations, though.
Well, I mean, to continue to have that beef with you, a man of Caucasoidness, then that would mean that we would still be stuck in that victim mentality to even look at you as the boogeyman. Therefore, we can't get out of that victim mentality, and you are still the problem. Therefore, you can't say stuff like chicken eating, fornicating preachers being part of the issue in the melanated community. No, you can't do that. You can't. So, that's a problem. So you hurt somebody's feelings last week. What's up, Uncle Michon, the neighborhood agitator? What's going on, family?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, did you invite the young man to come back and engage his conversations? Yeah, I like what Leonard said. Did he have the opportunity to engage it? It's one thing for someone to say something, and it's another to have them challenge on that they say. The reason why I really, Peter and I have experienced this before when I had the Truth Be Told. I mean, when I had the Focus show, I had no problem in allowing my, European friends and everything to come on there and speak their truth before I even was doing the Truth Be Told show. Remember that, Peter?
Sure. Yep.
I've always thought that it was good and good therapy to have people, whoever, to speak their truth. And I think I got it from Leonard. You and I understand this is working in the environment where you're around other men, and what good is it for other men to be able to walk around you and speak all their truth, and then you walk around there and force the silence and you can't speak yours? Does that not create trauma? Does that create problems, Leonard, where you're not able to drop your balls and say what you need to say? And then you want to quiet other people from saying what they need to say because why? You can't handle it, or you upset. Speak to that, Leonard, because I think you can appreciate why I think we need to have this conversation more, not just a little, but more often. Go, Leonard.
Yeah, like I said, what it boils down to is accountability. And I think that's kind of what Peter was trying to say in so many words, is the world is looking at your community and it doesn't look like you're accountable.
Hey,
Well,
but I mean, the reality, he said it in 4 words:
yeah.
chicken, eating,
Fornicating,
fornicating, preachers.
preaching.
It wasn't,
Yeah,
it was so many, but it was just 4. It wasn't so
right,
many. Go ahead,
right,
Leonard.
right. But in defense of our community, I know several non-chicken eating, fornicating pastors that actually do a good job. And the problem you have is that the ones that are the chicken dinner, fornicating, coming to your house, taking your house over type pastors or the prosperity preachers, they're the ones that get all of the visibility, right? Is I've been in ministry myself, and that there's a lot of things I've done and a lot of people that I've saw, and I can tell you, not a whole lot of people when you're doing the work, when you're out in ministry or when you're out, trying to do things, there's not a whole lot of recognition there, and you're not doing it for recognition, right? You're doing it to try to, see a community or people transform. And you do have many, like I said, I know several pastors that actually do a good job in the community. Our community is huge, right? And it's complex, and we got a myriad of problems. So, we can't just expect one pastor to be the answer or 2 pastors to be the answer. Plus, you got also, when it comes to accountability, you got to ask yourself, the pastors, a pastor, and my pastor, when I went to church, he put it, eloquently. He said, a pastor is like a coach. Okay. A coach does not play the game, but a coach inspires the players to do their best, right? And to play the game to win. So if a team is looking toward the coach to get out there and win the game for them, then you'll continuously lose, right? So our community, we've got to, look at the inspiration that our pastors and our faith-based community offers and use that as fuel to do for ourselves. What are we doing, okay, to change our conditions and use the things that our faith-based community is offering or showing us, or how are we transforming our lives? These are the things, when we talk to accountability, these are the things that, we have to start looking at and that we lack sorely, right, in our community. So, I get Peter's point, all right, but my point is, and his point is from the outside looking in, this is what it looks like. But from someone who's walking on the inside, I can tell you that there are people doing very good works, all right? It's just they don't get.
I mean, his comment wasn't to say that there weren't people
Oh,
doing
yeah.
great works. His comment was specific in saying that that's one of the problems in the melanated clique. Look, it's no question that we have issues. Okay, we and until we can truthfully look out or look within at our own issues and say, okay, all right, you know what, that is a problem and I've got to change it. Then until we can do that, we can't move forward. We can't look to change those issues. We talk about this all the time. First step in any Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever is admitting that you have a problem. Right. The country is at a tipping point, because they say any society that hits over 40% of in just about any area is a tipping point, right? Yeah. So right now, the USA, the country, we are over 41% of having kids out of wedlock, right? Something very different from even just 50 years ago, right? So when you look at that and you break those numbers down, the Caucasian community is 35%. The Latino community is about 45%. The Asian community is about 17%. And the melanated community, within those numbers, though we only make up 14% of the population in this country, the melanated community within those numbers is at a staggering well over 70%. It's actually almost 80%.
Right.
I think it just ticked the number yesterday. So I don't know which one of y'all went out and, started, working your hump day Wednesday, but, numbers just ticked a day or two ago. But nonetheless, we have to admit that there's a problem with that. So we know that millennials aren't getting married anymore because they're like, hey, it's I had this conversation with my family on our text chat yesterday, my uncles and pops and whatnot. Millennials aren't getting married anymore. It's easier to separate and move away and move apart and just do 50-50 if you're not married. But then it's almost like we've created a society where people are planning for the just in case. When in all actual reality, my dad, within his marriage now and within his marriage to my mother when she was alive, it was always, and this was a generational thing of the way they thought, it was always about, hey, till death do us part. We don't plan for if we get divorced. We don't plan for if we separate. But that was 38 years worth of marriage there before my mother died. So obviously that type of thought process plays out very well because there's plenty of people in his circle and all around that I grew up with and seen as far as healthy, good quality marriages where they all had the same thinking, So something's changed, something's happened, and definitely there's a problem. We got more churches today than we did 50 years ago.
Right.
On every corner. When you go down just in Louisville's West End, you've got a church on one corner and you've got a liquor store on the opposing next street on that same corner. Just about, it's almost as if it was planned, right? So if I were pastors in the West End of Louisville, and I'm sure this is indicative of many cities around the U.S., I would be out there focused on how do we rid our failed community of some of these vices that is ailing us, right? Because how can you focus on trying to get with God if you're drunk and high all the time? You know what I mean?
So like, Joe,
how do we heal if we're sitting within the pile of shit?
So Joe,
you got to flush it down the toilet. I guess Mishram was dealing with that today, huh?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
So Joe, I want to bring up the point that if you remember, I don't know if you, I guess you didn't play it. I guess he didn't play what he said, but if you remember what he said, and this is what I had the biggest thing, he specifically said, the statistics says that there are actually black men who are taking care of their family more often, and we can't buy into the narrative that black men are not taking care of their family, because black men are taking care of their family and everything, and the black men are in the homes, and my point is that what narrative of lens is he looking through? Okay, you can obviously see the lacking of our demographics of men in the households, in the community, doing the things they need to do, in the things that you're seeing in our community. That's what I want. It seemed like he's so worried about Peter, the white man, saying what he said, but did he ever just listen to and pay attention to the very point of what he was talking about? Y'all follow me? It was
I think what he meant to say, or maybe because I didn't hear, but studies show that of all fathers, that quote unquote black men are more active participants in their children's lives, but that does not mean that they're in the house. So like I said before, is you can be an active participant, but what you're doing is you're dividing your resources. If you're not in the home with the wife or even with the mother of your children, no matter what type of relationship, if you're not combining your resources together all right, trying to try to raise these kids, because it's everybody who's raised kids knows this, it's tough, right?
Right.
And tough is a really soft word, right? Because you're talking about a human being that literally depends on you for its life, right? And if you're not in that house and you've got your own bills and the mother has her own bills, and you could pay child support, you could go and visit, you can go and spend time, and that's great, okay? But we got to get to a place where I'm back in the house now, all right? Or we're back, together, or
Right.
making decisions where I'm with the woman I want to be with for the rest of my life. I can't see a future without this woman.
Right.
I can't see a future without this man, right? And we want to build a life and a family together. That's where we got to get back to, because ultimately that's how you're going to be able to build wealth as well. So,
hey, look, let me go ahead and share context, because that was the name of the game last week. I had just spoken about speaking things into existence and the power of the tongue and stuff like that. I forget why I brought that up, but this is where we're at. We keep talking the same old stuff, then we gonna keep getting the same old stuff.
From a preacher, read that in context. and then bring me back on. Because I want to hear it from a preacher. Read before that and read after that. From a preacher. And secondly,
the black church is one of the big problems in America. So that's a whole other subject. The black church and the chicken-eating, fornicating preachers are one of the big problems.
Oh, y'all! Oh, Peter.
Okay, all right, Peter.
I've worked with preachers for 40 years.
Is this what y'all on?
Chicken-eating, fornicating black preachers.
Peter, that is a disrespect. Oh wait, no, we can't. No.
Hey. And you know what I'm talking about, Finley. You know the preachers in Louisville, and I've worked with preachers all over America.
How are you all allowing a white man to tell a black man
not a white man
is a chicken-eating black church? Are you now? Hold on. Are you kidding me?
Chicken-eating, fornicating.
You do know the name of this show. You do know the name of this show, right?
Truth be told,
this is a grown man show.
How many preachers in Louisville have children in wedlock?
I just want to make sure I hear this, so when we get offline, I want to make sure I can sit with this. Peter Hayes told a black man, a black preacher, one of the big problems is a chicken-eating black church.
And I learned that from Reverend James Bethel, Dr. King's associate. That's
and see, here's the first problem. The first problem is that the game of telephone, we all learned it in first grade, but many people have yet to master it. Okay, so Peter says one thing, and then Tim Finley said another thing. Yeah. Okay, Peter said chicken eating, fornicating preachers or pastors, and then Tim said chicken eating churches.
Yeah, that's right. So
now Peter Hayes' whole verbiage now just became stronger, wider, and everything because of that right there. And I mean, but I look, I love Tim like for reals. Like I love him. We got mutual friends. All of that, and I see them from day one, going from Canaan, to going out on stepping out on his own, right? But I cannot lie I would be lying if I did not say that part. As soon as Peter said that,
stepped on some toes.
Is the most hilarious thing in the world, because as soon as Peter said that, he said, oh, like it sounded like Kevin Hart when Kevin Hart is doing his skit where he's talking about his uncle at the picnic and his uncle's falling down. So like, hey, bro, that was hilarious. But here's the thing, when you start to look at it, there's other people, other melanated people out there that did agree with that and said, hey, but it's true though.
Y'all have a good day.
Hey, Tim, before you get off, hey, Tim,
that's wild.
Hey, Tim, before you get off, I just want you to know, poverty, pimping, preachers is what I've been dealing with since I arrived here, bro. And if I
what you've been dealing with are white men who are telling you that you the issue. That's what you just heard. You just heard about chicken. A chicken
because we're not white supremacist racists.
That's crazy. I'm good. Y'all my brothers. God
That's
bless
a wild
you.
statement. I say that. That is definitely a wild statement.
I don't care what the name of the show is. That right there is gonna be a problem. Chicken white man on y'all show just said
the problem. Tim, here's the problem with you.
Yeah, it's interesting how he changed.
So peep this again. Yeah, he changed it.
The chicken
and then look at esoteric concepts. He took what Tim said and then regurgitated it, and it became chicken eating church. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. The game of telephone. You know, Tim would have been the one that messed it up for everybody in the game of telephone in first grade. Like he was the one
because he changed the whole narrative.
He heard what he wanted to hear and then regurgitated it out to the next person, and now everybody else is regurgitating and everybody would have ran what he said.
Chicken eating church. Peter didn't even say.
Let's finish this off a little bit more. Let's I want to get to the part to where he bounces.
Y'all be blessed.
Just one last thing.
Appreciate you.
Just one last Tim, hold up. Just one last thing.
Okay.
Peter Hayes is a man. Peter Hayes is a man just like Ye had the right to say what he needed to say about the Jewish community and what they've been taking. He's a man to say. Now, we got put off a WLOU. Listen, we got put off a WLOU because of some things that were said. And my point is this here. We have to be willing to embrace these conversations.
You don't have to sue me on freedom.
Have a dialogue and embrace the conversation.
Brother, you don't have to sue me on having the ability to have the freedom to say what you want to say. That's what America is all about. We get that. You don't have to sue me on that. But also,
come back to the next time. Just come back the next time. Let's have a conversation.
As I tell young people, you have the freedom.
Have a conversation.
I got you. You have the freedom to say it, but you also have the freedom to have those consequences. And I just said that's a wild statement, but it's cool. Y'all good. If y'all good, y'all good. I'm good. Y'all good.
There's people out there, and there's people out there, and the people out there like esoteric concepts that says, but wait, that's a true statement. You know,
no. Listen, there's gonna always be people that side with one side or this. I get it. I'm just saying for me, wild statement. That's all. But we all big boys here, and we deal with what we say.
So you don't need
truth be told.
You don't know any chicken eating fornicators.
I know a lot of them. A lot of them look like you.
Yeah, exactly.
But you didn't talk about. You said black. You said black. We ain't gonna.
And it's a further discussion.
No, listen.
And that's where I take pause, because again, the whole conversation is about us and our community. All right, we're talking about fixing our community. All right, we're not talking about fixing someone else's community. We're talking about fixing our community. If a person points out an issue in a community, it does not mean that the issue is not in other communities. All right, they're just pointing out that in this community, and this community is a conversation at hand. So again, if we're going to have discussions, people got to stay on topic, stay on point, and understand that the discussion is what it is. You can't go back and say, pointing fingers. Oh, but they do it too. But I don't care about them. I really don't, because I'm not trying to fix them. I'm trying to help fix us. I care about us. Our passion is for us. to try to help fix us. Peter ain't got to go and go to K-State and do what he's doing today for a whole minority farming thing. You know, he ain't got to go teach him nothing. He ain't got to go help support nothing. But he does. And he does have a proven track record of you know, hanging out in the hood and supporting many organizations in the melanated community. So we got to at least give him that. All right. And many people know that. But it doesn't mean that, you know, does it mean that he has to hold his mouth shut? I'm not going to hold my mouth shut and never do. I have friends of Caucasoid persuasion. I give them the ability to be open with me. I had one guy come to me. I used to be the manager at Johnson & Murphy in Oxmoor Mall years ago. This was like 2014, 15. And a white guy who is a good friend of mine to this day. He said to me, Joe, I always thought that the guys who wear the berets on their head are racist, that meant that they were racist. You know, because I had a couple brothers that came in and spent some nice money on several pairs of quality shoes, right? And I had to school him, you know. But if he didn't find it okay to come to me to talk to me about that, he would continue to go on with that thought process in his head, thinking that. You see what I'm saying? So,
right,
you know, but he also understands that is reciprocated.
Right,
so
exactly.
Just as he has the ability to come and ask me questions or make statements about his thoughts and beliefs, I have that same ability with him, and we have a mutual great relationship because of it. You know?
Hey, Joe, I want to thank you all for going in and taking some time to have this discussion. As much as we got all that other crap and politics and all that stuff, I believe this is the bigger problem, okay, when it comes to our demographics developing and growing in the unlearned. That's why I say unlearn to relearn. We have a whole lot of unlearned stuff we need to check with ourselves, okay, and learning how to navigate in the dominant European culture. That's why I stopped saying white and black. See, this is a dominant European culture. Understand that. Don't be mad about it. Recognize it. But just like the Black Panther brothers taught me, they said the reason why they used the Black Panther, it was a big cat, just like the lion is a big cat. You know, the lion and the Black Panthers don't roam in the same environment. Y'all do know that, right? The lion roam like in the Sahara, and the Black Panther roam in the jungle and everything. But the key point is that
I thought it roamed in Wakanda.
If the lion if the lion found itself in the perimeter of the Black Panthers or the Black Panthers perimeter, they're in trouble. They're going to be in some trouble, okay? And that was the whole reason why the Black Panthers formed themselves. It wasn't out of being, they wanted to be mad at the white man. They was trying to create a perimeter around their community so they can continue speaking who truth? Their truth, okay? What it meant to exist in America. But what happened? The government, the legislation came up against them and forced them into an unnatural, altering thing that has hurt our country, our demographics of people for the longest. Do that make sense? That's the conversation that we don't have.
Absolutely. But even greater than that, there is an issue with our inability to have enough emotional intelligence,
right,
to converse with people,
right.
All right, so EQ versus IQ. You know, Dr. Stephen Covey says EQ is a better determining factor of a person's overall intelligence than even IQ. You're talking about that space between action versus reaction. The smaller the space is, it has so much to do with your immediate surroundings,
right?
How you
exposure,
things of that nature, and we get it. We have been through some shit. I grew up in the hood. I could tell you some stories, all that type of stuff. You know, I did my little D-boy thing growing up in Richmond, VA. You know, I got stories on that. seen a lot of crazy stuff growing up. But when you think about it, I mean, I was fortunate to continue to have both parents in my life, my whole life. For at least 38 years, 37 years of my life, right? So that was my fortune there. But nonetheless, having that ability to think first, when me and my brothers were growing up, we had a quick temper, very quick temper. My dad noticed it. I was the oldest of 4 boys. He put us in kung fu. All right. And I can tell you what, there's a certain level of patience that you will learn to have as you get your ass kicked by a girl in kung fu class. Absolutely. So shout out to Twink. But yeah, and that, that's not to say that one parent can't do that or make those type of decisions, but I was fortunate to have 2 parents. So with that in mind, then my space between action versus reaction got larger. So it gives me the ability to, now I'm a very patient person. I don't snap like that. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to get to me to snap. Of course, we all have certain triggers that will immediately affect us. Maybe you go in on my kids or something. I don't know. Depends on the situation. But my space is large here, so I've got the ability to chill, think, come to some type of resolve, and then
conflict resolution, bro.
Absolutely. So that's one of the biggest issues in our community, because that's the reason why we somebody throws up a triggering video.
That's right.
I got rid of Push Black. Push Black is this organization. You can look it up on Facebook or whatever. But they were sending me all these messages in Messenger. And it was always something about,
the trigger, emotional.
It was always a trigger. Yeah, it was always an emotional trigger. It was always, it's like Mississippi Burning playing out every day in my Messenger. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, I don't need to see that every day. I already know what happened.
Right, exactly.
I may not know every individual story that you go dig up, but guess what? I can't move on tomorrow while I'm focused on yesterday. Yeah. I can't. It does not work like that, because if I focus on yesterday today, then it's only going to be a repetitive day of yesterday. That that's where a lot of our people are stuck. Because get triggered by all that shit that people post online, all that stuff. You're on social media, you seeing people, your friend, a cop over here, a cop, and like Dave Chappelle says, how can you care about anything when you know so much?
Right. That's true. Man, y'all all the way back in the garden, man. You're all the way back in the garden. Why did God say? I know, Lenny, you want to jump in there, but he just went there. This is so. When we lose, this is in my book, okay? When we lose our innocence, why did God try to protect the humanity from knowing certain things? We can know too much and be no good to ourselves, okay? By the knowledge that we have and start knowing. He wanted us to stay being the sparrow. The sparrow, he says, the sparrow is being taken care of. But the sparrow maintains its innocence. It doesn't know what it don't know. Well, when we came into knowing what we knew, we didn't even know we were walking around there naked, okay? We didn't know we were naked, okay? Until we came into the understanding that we were naked. How do you know that? Because what were they doing when God walked up? What did it say, Leonard? What did it say?
It said they were hiding.
They were hiding. What were they hiding? They said, "Why are you hiding?" They said they were hiding because they were naked. Who
they were
told
naked.
you was naked?
Who told you were naked? So
who told you was naked?
So that plays into what we call emotional immaturity, and emotional immaturity, all right, will keep you in a cycle of amplified trauma. And
I like somebody like that poverty.
That is what is going on in our hoods, in our communities. It is emotional immaturity, and it is perpetuated on
Yes.
a daily basis. And the
Yes.
sad part is that most of the people don't even realize
Yes.
how
They
immature
don't
they
even
are.
realize it.
Right.
You sitting here telling me that you this age and people younger than you got houses and have increased their themselves and their family financially and this, that, and the other, but you hollering about when it's my time. No,
Right. Right.
no,
Yeah.
you are immature
Yeah.
and you have not got it all
You
there.
haven't got it right. Exactly.
And
Right.
and that's the reason why you're in the state that you're in. And
Mhm.
that's the reason why we keep going through the same shit over and over and
Because
over,
of
year
Andy
after year.
said it.
Woo.
Andy said it, man. I wish I would have met Andy. You remember, Peter? Andy used to say it all the time. He said all the time, we are like an emotional therapy. We need an emotional. We go to church for emotional therapy, okay? So we can get that
True.
emotional high, but it doesn't last long. So we got to come back every Sunday, every Wednesday to get our emotional therapy and everything. And he said, when you go to
True.
the other European churches and everything, they don't have emotional therapy. They have what we call emotional intelligence. Okay. Did you know Peter used to, Andy used to say that all the time.
He used to say the difference, the black church, people go for therapy, and other churches, they go for more empowerment. So, people, are dragging themselves to church because they're so beat up with trauma. And I guess that's right. So that they need just some emotional therapy just to get them through the next week, where other, denominations
Communities.
folks are more empowerment. They go for a message, they take that message and use it where, and there's a lot to that. I've been fortunate to preach and teach and speak in probably well over 100, 150 African American churches and all other churches. So, the message is it's interesting. It's a difference.
Hey, but you being very kind, Peter, but I'm not gonna be that kind, okay? Because I wasn't raised in black churches in my whole entire childhood growing up. And people find, how the hell you missed that? Well, my mother just altered my whole blackness experience and everything. So the very first time that I went into a black church, and I was, Leonard, you understand Fort Campbell, chasing the women after meeting a girl at Saturday, and they go to church on Sunday. They say meet them at the church. Okay, so hey, bro, the very first time that I went to a all black experience church was at Fort Campbell, bro. Okay, so when I walked up in there, man. Hey, I came there chasing a little honey. I will not lie. The only reason I was there is because little honey asked me to be there, and I said, all right, I go to the church. All right. Man, dude, look, bro, they acted, it was a Pentecostal type of church. Do I need to say any more? Pentecostal church there. Bro, they broke off into some stuff, man, that I was like, what the hell? Brother. It was so crazy, dude. For me, you gotta understand. I might look like us, but I didn't have this experience. I didn't know what this was. Okay, these folks spoke in tongues. They're running all up down the stool. There was all type of crazy stuff going on, man.
Get the spirit.
Man,
Yeah.
I got up.
Everybody should have bought a Hyundai.
Huh?
Say everybody should have bought a Hyundai. I should have bought a Hyundai. I should have bought a Hyundai.
I got up and left, dude. The girl called me and said to me, asked me, where are you? I was looking for you. I said, listen here. Look at here. Listen, I will not be back, and forget it. I will not be talking to you. It was just out of my comfort zone, man. I had no reference to what this was other than to call it what it looked like. Crazy.
But I would definitely say the church and religious institutions, they're the able institutions of society. So as much as the faults, they're the able-minded, where politics is more Cain type power and control. So it's a positive influence. But the church, just like any business, nonprofit, church, ourselves, we need self-reflection and continuous improvement. And
Well, look,
I don't think anyone would argue in America over the last 60 years that the moral standards has risen. They've declined, and behavior that was totally unacceptable And Joe, part of what triggered that discussion is you brought up those statistics of children born out of wedlock, and then Tim
Right,
Tim
exactly.
did cite those studies that Leonard mentioned that he said black dads are more involved with their kids than others. But
and I was asking where are those studies from? Where give me some source to that, because I can give you source to the studies that we talk about, but the studies that he was talking about, and I went and looked, and I found one little small
blurb,
small study that was done, and quite minute, that kind of insignificant. But real quick, I want to help us heal. I want to help us heal real quick because Leonard's got to drop here in 8 minutes. So I'm gonna do this on a time thing. I want to help us heal. I'm gonna play a video. All right, and I want to play the whole about roughly 3. No, this is probably about 2 minutes. Yeah, almost 3 minutes. All right, I want to play the whole thing, and then I want to let Leonard say a last word before he leaves. Is that cool with you, Leonard?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So let's do this, y'all. Again, it's the Truth Be Told show. I want to help us heal, and I want to play this video so that we all can heal and get outside of ourselves when it comes to this whole, I can dish it, but I can't take it thing, because that's really what's going on.
Right. Exactly.
I can dish it, but I can't take it. So, you got to have some serious emotional intelligence to be able to dish it and then take it. So let's heal together, folks.
What? Pino, who's your favorite basketball player?
Magic Johnson.
Who's your favorite movie star?
Eddie Murphy.
Who's your favorite rock star? Prince. You're a Prince
Boss.
fan.
Bruce.
Prince.
Bruce.
Pino, all you ever talk about is nigga this and nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas.
It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince are not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean, let me explain myself. They're not really black. I mean, they're black, but they're not really black. They're more than black. It's different. Yeah, it's different.
Well, deep down inside, I think you wish you were black. Laugh if you want to. Your hair is kinkier than mine. What does that mean? And you know what they say about dark Italians?
I've been listening and reading.
You've been reading now?
I read. I've been reading about your leaders, Reverend Al, Mr. Dew, Sharp Tone, Jesse. Keep hope alive.
That's fucked up.
Keep hope alive.
Hey, that's fucked. Don't talk about Jesse.
Even the other guy, what's his name? Farrakhan.
Minister Farrakhan.
Sorry. Minister Farrakhan. Anyway, Minister Farrakhan always talks about the so-called day when the black man will rise. We will one day, what does he say? We will one day rule the earth as we did in our glorious past.
Yeah, that's right.
What past are you talking about? I mean, what did I miss?
We started civilization.
Man, keep dreaming, man. Then you woke up.
Pino, fuck you, fuck your fucking pizza, and fuck Frank Sinatra.
Yeah? Well, fuck you too, and fuck Michael Jackson.
Dago Wab, Benny, garlic bread, pizza slinging, spaghetti bending, Victor Mo, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal, non-singer motherfucker.
You gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey eating, boom, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball dunking, titsoon, spade, rolling yarn. Take your fucking piece of pizza and go the fuck back to Africa.
You little slanty-eyed, me no speaky American, own every fruit and vegetable stand in New York. Bullshit Reverend Sun Young Moon, some Olympic 88 Korean kickboxing sabaran bitch.
Goya Bean eating 50 in a car, 30 in an apartment, pointy shoes, red wearing, Menudo, meter, Puerto Rican cocksucker. Yeah, you.
Shit, got good polite for you. Now catch it. How I'm doing? Chocolate egg cream drinking, bagel and the lots, banana for this, you asshole.
Yo, hold up. Time out. Time out. Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth.
All right, so you know, hopefully this has helped people heal. Leonard,
off the chest.
Go ahead and speak your piece as you exit your way out of this debacle here.
I can remember seeing that for the first time when back in the late 80s when it came out. And it was funny then. A lot of people might not say it's funny now because of the atmosphere we're in, because you know, now hurt words are hurtful and, you know, people are more emotionally fragile.
Man. Woo.
Oh, yeah. With that, they couldn't do a movie like that now, could they?
Oh, no. But the bottom line is this, is that
Spike Lee. Yeah.
Is first it started as a conversation, then it moved into what they call a race rant. Okay. And that's kind of a cycle that we continue to go through is, you know, we talk about these people, these people and those people. And the truth of the matter is that those of us who are the working class or those of us who are in the middle class or whomever even poor, we have more in common than we don't have in common.
Right.
All right. And culturally, like I said, culturally, you know, culturally, yeah, we got our cultural differences, but the things that matter, need for family, need for security, financial security, need for well-being and wellness, spiritually, physically, all of these types of things. We all have these things in common. So if we kind of focus on our commonalities, all right, then we can start to build bridges on these islands that separate us, right? See, so I think that's where we got to go, you know, learn about each other's culture, learn about, you know, what makes, you know, these people like what they like. That's just like Black History Month. Black History Month is not Black History Month for Black people. It is a celebration of Black history that everybody's invited to.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
and that's just like anybody's History Month, anybody's history celebration. You know, go and be a part of that. You know, go and check out, you know, other cultures. I was fortunate enough to have been around the world to see other cultures and get involved in that.
Yeah.
And you'll be, you know, fortunate, like I said, is to be embraced by that. So I think that's where our healing starts, is when you open your mind and open your heart and say, people are different, but people are the same also. Right. And learning about people's differences will help you realize just how in common we are.
How connected we are.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, appreciate, we didn't thank you guys for Veterans Day. Joe, 3 of our partner hosts, Leonard, Mishorn, and Marcus Ray, are all veterans. So thank you for your service as veterans of our country. And like you said, as veterans, you were able to travel around the world. I was able to do it as well. Now, here's one thing, getting back to family. What didn't you see? One thing which is universal is you got parents taking care of kids and families all over the world, wherever you go, Asia, Africa, South America. So that family unit is so important. And, you know,
the family dynamics, dynamics is so important, right?
And absolutely. Let's first go ahead and as I was saying earlier, Leonard, know you got a role, brother. We appreciate you again. Thank you for your service. My dad was in the Air Force as well, and you know, just thank you so much for affording us the freedoms that we have today. Some people would say that you know, it has afforded Mishorn too much freedom because now he has more time to be on his phone and text. Peace, brother. Love you.
Love you guys too.
All right, take care.
Take care, Leonard. That little piece that you brought up, man, is as you know, it's funny. Looking at it now, I remember it back then, but looking at it now, at the age I am today, and this and that, looked like Spike Lee was ahead of his generation, man. He put that.
He was, and I feel like he calmed down.
Yeah,
back then it was school days. It was do the right thing. I mean, this brother was on fire. Jungle. What is the Jungle Fever?
Fever.
Brother,
all those shows now
on it.
And all those shows now need to be regenerated and played now, because as we played that, you played that to make a point. But let me tell you something, man. We actually, I almost want to do a darn program, Peter, and we do something and actually play that again, because right now that's exactly what Finley felt. Finley could not handle Peter saying what he said and everything, and he had a meltdown, emotional meltdown, because he didn't know how to handle it. When he doesn't realize, when he don't realize the healing is hearing it and understanding why Peter said what he said.
I'm not gonna say he had a meltdown. I gotta give him some credit. He didn't have a emotional meltdown, but he definitely got hurt by that. I mean, it was definitely a butt hurt, and he definitely was not feeling it, and it was quite obvious. I would say he had an emotional meltdown, but he was definitely hurt, and it was
and he
quite
doesn't
obvious.
realize that the real healing was not what Peter said, but understanding why Peter said it. Okay, and if you're not willing to hear why, engage. Yes, if you're not willing to engage to hear the why someone said what they said, then you miss the whole nugget of the knowledge that it falls in the same thing. I keep going back to
knowledge that you could have gained.
You acknowledge it, and it goes back to the very same thing what happened in the garden, man. The garden. This is a conversation in the garden. When the woman had the conversation with the serpent, okay, let's go there. When the woman had the conversation with the serpent, she misconstrued what she had heard, because the serpent threw something in there, and then the serpent said, did God say that? Surely God didn't say that. And God didn't say what she thought she said. It goes back to what you were saying, that Finley thought he heard something, okay, and then he threw something in there. And the moment that she doubted God, she doubted God, some people would say she was impregnated with Cain.
All right, I got to go, fellas. We'll talk to you next week.
You got to go too? Oh,
yeah, I'm heading to Frankfurt. Yeah.
All right, now you have a good one, man.
Yeah, he's got to go to K-State for that event out there. Some black farmers or something like that.
Well, actually, I need to be preparing too, because I go and meet with my attorney about my case and everything. We doing just a little, we speaking of knowledge and understanding, without going into everything. What happened to Angela? She didn't come on?
Don't know. She didn't come on, but
she didn't even come through, huh? Okay.
No, I mean, well, I didn't. You text her the link and everything?
I did. I sent it to her.
Yeah. So, I don't know. She didn't come on though.
Okay, no problem. Well, without going into everything, but let me tell you something. As we talk about this, the stuff that went on with Peter, and we talking about Paul. I mean, I believe it's good that we actually put the time in talking about this, because this here will help us heal moving forward than anything else, because we can't even deal with politics and everything and all the stuff that's going on if you're not willing to allow another man to speak their truth and have knowledge and be willing to seek the understanding what that is.
Yeah, it's a tough world out here. You're gonna get some bumps, bruises, scrapes, all that type stuff, and you can't allow words to hurt you. I mean, there's a nursery rhyme about that or something, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I don't understand. Kids don't say that no more. There's so much stuff that is no more, but back in the day we had thicker skin.
Yeah, we had thicker skin.
Kids, we could say that type of stuff. And we meant it, what you say ain't going, your words ain't gonna hurt me.
Yeah, we used to say it.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put this blade of grass on my shoulder. You knock that blade of grass off, and we're gonna be fighting.
Right.
Back in the day, man, we
Isn't it amazing? Those little simple things we used to do back then actually was things that was therapy to us to deal with whatever we were dealing with, but we didn't. Matter of fact, remember, we used to actually get into big fights, but at the end of the day, you went out and had an ice cream with them and sat down, you talked about it, Everybody went home. Nobody lost their damn life and everything.
Yeah, I got two of my closest, two close friends that I grew up with, who they both one day jumped me at the bus stop, bro. Like,
right.
I don't even remember why or whatever, but I mean, like one held one arm, the other one held the other arm, and one of them kneed me in the face, and or in the chest or something, because I know my face ain't nothing happening. But I was like, no, not the face. It's so beautiful. But but either way, and I mean, I don't know, it was like 13, 14 or something at the time, and I mean, we still friends. I can't even remember what happened, but it's just crazy how things have changed to where people now are so emotionally disturbed,
right,
that they allow words and things to bother them so much. I mean, man, I can tell you right now, if I in this day and age were to allow words to bother me
too.
I've had some heinous things said to me, even by close people that I love. So if I had allowed words to bother me, then I don't know if I would be here, because I've been jumped off a roof or something like that, right?
And there's a saying I heard that to have the most heinous and horrible things I've ever heard is from the same person who said that they love me or call me family. Did you catch that? I mean, before I was taught how to hate the white man. Hate the white man from my mother and everything, from my growing up in Miami. But the horrendous things that I heard and the things that people jumped on me. You know what a sleeper is? Back when I was growing up, we used to put people to sleep. People used to put people to sleep just for fun. Did you hear that? You know what a sleeper is?
Yeah,
Joe?
I remember that.
Somebody used to come behind you and everything and put you to sleep and just choke you just enough that you pass out. That type of stuff used to happen. I had that happen to me a couple times, okay, because people used to pick on me. So I had some of the most horrendous things that happened to me by people who look like me. I've had the most horrendous name calling said to me by people who look like me and people who called me family and said in the same breath, I love you. If I were to consider all that, I should be mad at us, right? I should be like extremely mad at us for the things that has occurred in my life, but I don't. Isn't that crazy, man? When you think about all the things that has happened to you, really didn't happen to you from the people that we've been taught to say we're supposed to hate and despise. We're supposed to be scared of the boogeyman, right? We're supposed to be scared of the boogeyman, the white man. But I can say to you, I have not had
our biggest traumas have come
from the white man,
the closest people to us.
Right.
That's kind of interesting when you really think about that. We
trauma
playing the victim mentality. Right. You always pointing the finger elsewhere than where you should be pointing the finger.
Right. Exactly. That's what you're going to see in my book, dude. My book, I'm Not Your Black, okay, America. I might as well go and plug that a little bit. So as we getting close, my publisher and everything, we are getting down to the wire and everything, man. And I'm actually probably going to be having on my website an ability that people can go ahead and be able to pre-order my book and everything. That's how close we are, Joe. I'm actually feeling pretty doggone good. What set out 3-4 months ago, okay, is turning around. I would say by 2023, Uncle Michon will be an author, and the word is, they could be telling the word is just because of the name of my book, I'm Not Your Black America. First of all, Joe, do you know where that ties into? I'm not your.
No.
Oh, you brought up my brother. You know what? Let me go ahead and do this right now, John. Let me say to you publicly on the air, I contribute me getting back into my book because of you. Let me say that right up front, okay? Had you and I had not had our conversation, had you and I not dialogue and everything, and when you talking about your book, I would not have thought to get started back in my book. So, John, I owe you a tremendous amount of encouragement and getting in my head and everything to allow me to get my.
He said, he said 10% of sales will be enough.
What's up, John? Y'all.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Just thought I'd jump in here for a minute with you. I'm actually just killing time waiting on a shipment to come in, so I might not be here with you long. But I just wanted to jump in on the subject y'all was talking about. Pretty interesting from the last week's talk.
Yeah, jump on in there, man. You know, I got a person that came and attacked me on Twitter. Also, the woman, there's a woman. I guess my man I don't know how she came about it. I guess she listened to the show, and she said something to the fact that, please explain to me, how could you allow such a thing to be said about our black churches and about our black pastors? And I went in on it and told her, you know, it's a free country. You know, a person you got to be willing. If you can dish it, you got to be willing to, you know, you got to be able to take it too. You can't always be a person that always want to dish it, but want to prevent other people from saying what they want to say. So, yeah, what's your take on that, John?
Well, you know, we are emotional people, and these triggers that we have in us was planted in us. And this is the hardest piece to understand. This is the hardest piece for our people to get. And it's really something that I've been fortunate to understand and really have gotten control of that part of the emotion to where I don't allow those things to trigger me, you know. So these are things outside of me that are allowed to affect me on the inside of me. And our people have been, of course, we can say beat up, beat down for the longest with these emotions, that it's easy for them to control our emotions through these triggers.
Mm-hmm.
What I try to do basically, even on the Tipping Point show, is try to get people to look at their inner self so that they can do shadow work in their own brain, because this is where the triggers are laid at, and to begin to learn how to overcome that, to start having focus on what we want in life. See, it's very interesting when we talk about whether we use the word manifestation, you know, which is such a word that's been so misunderstood. When we use the word that, you know, we can live the kind of life that we want to live, or we can achieve whatever goals we want to achieve, it's either two things here. Everyone can say it, but does everyone really believe it? And if everyone believes it, then I can look at the individual and say, well, what is the problem? If you are someone that believes that you can live a life of happiness and fulfillment, then why haven't you chose it?
Right.
So I like to put it this way for our people. And I ask this question particularly to someone that came through the struggle. It ain't like I haven't went through the struggle. Of course I have. But I was to say, if I was to ask the person, would you rather live the life you have now or live the life you want? When you ask that question, people think that's a trick question. It's really not. And so most people say, I would rather have the life I have. And yet your life is incomplete in your mind. In other words, you're struggling. We got these racism, we got the white man, we got this boogeyman, we got all these different men that are attacking us on so many different levels that are keeping us from getting above. Right. So I'm just asking a question actually of imagination when I say, would you rather have the life you have now or the life you want? Notice I said the life that you want. And if you was to say, I would take this life, then that means you don't see a future of a better life that you would want. And so there's a blockage in the brain then that I can say that is there that is unknown to the person that says that they would rather have the life that they have now. So in other words, you don't have a vision that you want a bigger house. You don't have a vision that you want wealth to be able to travel and do the things you want to do. You don't have a vision of wanting good for other people. When I say the life that you want, what is it you want to see? Do you want to see, you know, if you want a life of prosperity and hope, wouldn't you also want that life for those around you? Wouldn't you also want that life for your own people? Wouldn't you also want that life from those who you claim that are suffering? Well, if that's a want, then that should be the focus, but it's not. And people will say, well, I like the life I have, as though I'm saying you are unhappy. And that ain't what I'm saying. I'm just asking a question. So for the brain and everything in humanity that is alive, guess what its main function is? Its main function is to reproduce and to live a better life. Everything in life struggles to live a better life. I don't care what it is. You can go all the way to a microscopic germ. The germ has a will to live, right? And so it has a will to live to get what? Better. Even a germ or a virus would eat other stuff to do what? So it can be better. Some germs mutate into something else. Why? To be better than it is. And unfortunately, psychologically, we don't have that ability to want to be better. And I'm not saying, oh, when I make that statement, oh, don't mean I don't want to be better. No, what I'm talking about is the mindset that we continue to choose this suffering piece, that we can choose happiness, but somehow we would rather choose this suffering. No, I'm from the hood. I want to, I'm with my people, that's like a person who gets wealthy, but still stay in the hood. I'm a real black man and I'm staying in the hood. If that's what you want, then don't complain.
Right.
When someone, and that's my point. If that's what you want, don't complain.
How's it work?
And I think that's where we are.
What you just talked about is how's it working for you? When I told some people that after living 24 years in the West End, and I came to the conclusion that I had to get my wife and family, get my wife from out of there and everything, because the community that I moved in had left me. Notice what I said. I said the community that I moved in left me. It became no more it became no more in a community that I felt safe in, and it felt like a community that I no longer felt that I could allow my wife to continue living in, when she all of a sudden started coming to me, feeling that she could no longer walk the street. She was telling me, my wife came to me a couple of times telling me, babe, she said, I just had an experience where somebody just came up on me and stopped and just, they pulled off. And so it was all these things going on. Then I realized that, Joe, I had to make a decision to protect whose perimeter, bro? I had to protect my wife and my interests and everything. So I had to decide to move up out of there, okay, and to move on and everything. But the interesting thing, I had people who was trying to tell me, why would you do that, brother? Why are you going to leave your people? Why are you going to leave your people to move out there with the white people and everything? And I thought it was the weirdest thing, because I wasn't moving out there with the white people. I was moving for an environment to make it safe for my wife, because the community ran out on me.
John actually tells a story. He's told a story like that several times about his how he felt years ago when his brother was moving out of the hood, to basically create safety for his daughter, his family. Yeah, and and that's the thing. We're a group of people that does that. I'm sure it happens elsewhere also, but I mean, we should be wanting better and more for us. And it's hard to create better or more in your community when your community is so distraught.
Well, it is the addiction to pain. You did. So we have an addiction to want to suffer. There's an addiction to want to feel at the bottom. There's an addiction to want to feel I want to struggle. That's an addiction, right? To say, oh, I have the ability to move out the hood into a better neighborhood, but I don't want to leave my people. I like it down here in the struggling world. That's a problem that you don't want better. Listen, I don't strive to be around white people. I just strive to be around better people. It don't matter what type of people it is, you know. I strive to be around people who want to respect, who got respect for themselves. If they got respect for themselves, I know they're going to have respect for me. I want to live in a neighborhood where my car's not going to get broken into. I'm not got to worry about niggas running up and down the street trying to have sex with my daughter. I want to live in a neighborhood where I ain't hearing no shootings at night, you know. And if that's okay with you, right? Meaning if that's okay with you that I want this. But there are some people don't want that, not only for themselves, but they'll see you wanting better and call you a sellout. You know, get your money. So yeah, I teased my brother years ago because I was in that struggle, you know, black man, black power, that good stuff. And my brother, he became a police officer, and his wife also became a police officer. So he moved out in Hirschborn area. If you're from Louisville, you know that's where a lot of wealthy people were living or moving out to when they was first building Hirschborn. When they first built it, there was a lot of farmland back in the day. Right. And so he bought a house out there, his first house built from the ground up, you know. He was very proud of himself. And here I was, on about, you leaving the hood, look at you, you're selling out. And he said, listen, I said, why couldn't you spend that money in the West End and build up a house? He said, I just want to live somewhere where my daughters are safe. And I didn't get it until I had my daughter. Yeah, I said, oh, I get it now.
John, how old were you?
Get the hell out of here too.
John, how old were you? Can you remember how old you were when you had that discussion with him?
My brother became a police officer when I was in my early 20s.
Okay, yeah. So you was in your early 20s. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I can feel you on that because when I was in my early 20s, I was in the military. And you know, just my little wake up to a couple of things is that I always, you know, joke, you know, I gotta have a military story. You know, I was in the military during my 20s, and I was having these experiences where I had not experienced certain things before, and it was amazing to me that culturally, John, I saw things about us because I wasn't raised in it, because my mother kept me distracted from it or kept me sheltering, that I saw things about us that I had to learn how to be us. John, can you hear what I'm saying? I had to learn how to curse. I had to learn how to treat women the way I had to learn. I had to learn a lot of stuff to be black, okay? And when I learned it and started being able to navigate in it, then I became disgusted with it. Do that make sense, John?
Yeah.
Do you feel what I'm saying? I learned, I had strived to be accepted by us. I strived to want to be in that environment because I was kept sheltered from it. And once I achieved it and got there, was able to swing it, when they had that swagger, was able to do the things in it, something else happened. I became disgusted with the very thing that I had learned how to become. John, explain that to me. What was going on with me, John?
You went through the same thing I went through with religion. Shit, I was going through religion, believing in that crap, and then I discovered it was all a lie. Yeah, I was pissed after that, right? Because I tried to be the best Muslim I could be, and I realized that all of it was just fake. But this is a very interesting point, and it's something that's going on right now, and I want you to understand the hypocrisy here. This is a very interesting hypocrisy that occurs right in our face with our people. So, you know, we just went over this thing about Kyrie and Kanye. Right. And, you know, we went to this thing where we see the Jewish people as, you know, denying us and taking this from us and treating us like this and mistreating us. We go through that cry, oh, let's boycott Nike. Oh, let's boycott Adidas, you know, because they're Jewish owned and they don't respect us. You know, we go through that shit. And then what? The same Jew man say, I don't know if we hating certain Jews or we hating all the Jews. Which is it? Is a certain Jew you don't like, or is it all of them? Do you put them all in the same boat? So here we are doing this whole complaining, and all he got to do, all the white man got to do is create a movie and dangle you inside of it. And there you go again. You're going to support the Jewish people again. You know, first we're mad one moment. Let's stop. Let's boycott this and let's boycott. Let's show
You talking
them.
about Black Panther, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly, right. And then they make a movie and we forget all about what we into. And this is why I don't fall for that old
Sean,
let's not black. Because when we talk about that, we only talking emotion, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as our emotion is over, we forget what we were coming together for in the first place, right? Because that's how we move. I just mentioned a hypocrisy.
Right.
That we were just a few days ago talking about boycotting Nike. Why? Because it's Jewish owned. Boycotting Adidas. Why? Because it's Jewish owned, right? And yet, because we're talking about how they're playing us in the movies, how they're playing us in the music, how they're using our talent, right? And we mad at them for doing that. And then turn right around and do what? Go to who you think owns Marvel? Who do you think owns where they've been distributed? We're talking the same people, but the problem is we have what you call a microwave mind, and we have a short memory. We have a short memory. We only have a spurt of energy, then it goes away and we forget and go back to our normal selves. This is why we won't survive and we won't win collectively, because individual mindset can't control their own mind of what they like and don't like. It's just a game here. And so they'll dangle stuff in front of us and then we'll watch ourselves get distracted, go all over here with this energy, and they're doing something else over here with this. And then all of a sudden we forget about this energy, what they pissed us off about. And then we over here giving them our money again. You know, now they're going to make another $1 billion off this foolish movie. And so we'll justify it by saying this. It was good entertainment, though. It was pretty colors. And look at our black people. It was exciting to see. And while the Jewish man, he goes home to the bank and he lives the lifestyle that he living on his wellness while he's dangling a dream to you, and you're like, I wish we were like that and coming together. You see how they play us, right? But are they playing us? Or are we playing ourselves?
John, you're not.
We are some of the most hypocrisy, emotional people I've ever seen in my life. I don't want to hear no more blocking Adidas and block. I don't want to hear that shit if you ain't talking about blocking that movie. I want to hear that. That's just crap.
Yeah. Hey, John, so I want to ask you something because, man, it's interesting because you brought up something that I thought the same thing. So I'm starting to think that maybe you said something before. We are in our 60s. Who are, and I'm going to say, you know, I know you call me who see myself as a descendant of American slave who come up through where I came up after being born after 1960. I have seen all this stuff. See, I remember when Roots came on, okay? My culture of people in Miami, we rioted. We was emotionally caught up. I done things that I can say now because I had to write it in my book. I put my hands on some people and everything because I was following my partners and I was emotionally caught up. And brother, I'm not proud to say, unfortunately, that the police never caught and found out who did it. But I didn't hurt no one. I mean, I hurt, but I didn't cause no one to die and everything. I'm fortunate that I got caught up in an emotional spin that now at age 62, brother, I can recognize that the shit that I'm seeing today is a repeat of shit that I've already seen. Did you bring that up before? Do you think that we in our 60s and those who are in their 40s and younger, they seeing shit that they think seeing for the first time, but us in our 60s and older, we've been here before. Am I right or wrong? We've been here before.
Exactly. A lot of times, and a lot of times, this is just a replay. We know that's just why it's very important to understand. And I'm gonna tell you something, Mishana. I'm gonna tell you something. What I see in men today, I'm gonna say 40, and I'm gonna say above 40 and under. You know, I see that I am so thankful that I look at the music, look at what's on television today. I'm so thankful I had the opportunity to see the 60s and what it was like back then. Because see, I can compare then to now.
Yes,
A lot
sir.
of you
Yes,
guys in your 40s, y'all can't compare
You ain't got
anything.
nothing to compare it to.
You ain't got nothing to compare it to measure what life was about then and how we look at life today. Our music was different. You don't really understand how our music back then was about love and building and family.
Yes.
Y'all music today is none of that stuff, right?
None of that.
We didn't have. Listen, women today, your normal women, what I see today in women, even going to church, the way they dress today will put the prostitute to shame back in the 60s. Oh, I kid you not. Women back then didn't dress like that, even when they were prostitutes, right?
John,
and so women
speak that
today
truth, John. Speak
you
that
will put
truth.
them prostitutes in shame the way. And listen, back then on television, there was no kissing. It was a pet. There was no tonguing. There was no bra showing. There was no showing of nobody in bed. In fact, I remember the old show Dick Van Dyke. Their bedroom was two separate beds. The husband and they weren't together. They weren't showing all this sexual behavior, and they weren't showing these things like they're showing today.
Right.
And that's the problem we have. They have figured out that the way they can control us is through this media that they begin to own and purchase, right? And yet we still play in it and don't know it's the game. Listen, I just did a thing, and we've been talking about this I've been talking about this for years personally, but one thing I've always talked about is the illusion, because it's written in my thesis, the illusion of television, okay, and what it can do to the brain. Now, I've been speaking about this for years. It's not nothing new. And so here we now talking about this new app called TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. And how you can actually, they got proof now where they're taking TikTok, and that program is different than the program in China than the program here in America. That the program here in America is teaching kids garbage. And so their kids are learning engineering and stuff like that with their TikTok. They're learning nature and stuff like that with their TikTok, right? Our TikTok is feeding us garbage, right? So can you imagine in the next 10, 20 years what our children are going to look like when we compare it to them? We have this microwave mindset, and we don't even care anymore to understand the fact that you are programming yourself with their information. So you're not going to turn off that television. You're not. And see, television back then wasn't as dangerous as it is now.
Yeah, sure, that's right.
You're not going to turn it off.
Learning it. They were still learning how to program people back then.
Correct. You're not going to turn that TV off. If you're not going to do that, then it's a done deal. You're not going to be able to understand the program.
John, that's why the reason people want to know why my wife said, "Why did you cancel TikTok?" John, let me tell you the reason. When you played that video, you know, I'm fortunate to be in the demographic. So I'm in the company of a whole lot of different people. When I heard you say it again, guess what? It was about the 5th time I heard that. Okay. So when I heard you say it, I said, God damn it, I'm done. Out of there. Because I had already heard it 4 other times from other people because of the environment that I hang out with, that TikTok is dangerous, and what they're doing over there is not the same thing they're doing here. I had already heard that. And I'm like, oh my God. So here you said again, I'm a military guy, bro. I said that was it. Done. I'm done with it. I closed my account, shut it down, period. Okay. Hey fellas, I'm gonna have to get on out of here because I gotta get on to my
you gotta go looking for the good stuff on TikTok, that's for sure.
You do. You gotta go look for it.
Hey, listen, I gotta go ahead and get on out of here, fellas. John, always, man, it was good to have you on, man. And John, hey John, I just now realized as I'm closing to the end of my book, John, I want you to drop a word in my book.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
All right, I'm serious. I'm not kidding here. I want you to drop a word in my book. You
okay.
Put your thoughts together. Put some thoughts together, and anything you want to go, I want you to drop a word in my book. Just let me know. I'll give you a holler, okay?
All right. Appreciate you.
Out of here.
All right. You hold him right here. He said he wants you to drop one word. All right, y'all. Hey, It's been another episode of the Truth Be Told Show. We will see y'all next week. Same place, same time.
Peace.
All right, cue the music.
Cueing music.
Start the music.
Starting music.
And go.
It's the Truth Be Told Show, where we place America first. Honoring those who America has forgotten. Listen in and unlearn to relearn. As we set the record straight. And now, your host of the Truth Be Told Show, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Nishorn.